Hare Krishna.
Rahul Ketan was a big preacher in Bangladesh. He gave lectures for thousands and thousands of students. Very good, yes. And he has no stage fear. That's why they have given him mic, I think. Okay.
Let's chant a verse together. Mat eka bandhu mat shangin,
Madhaika bandhu
mat guru mat mahadhana,
mat mahadana
mat nistarak mat bhagya,
mat bhagya
madanando namahustate.
danando namaste.
These four things are described by Sanatana Goswami, and this is our topic only. Okay. So first topic is how Bhagavatam is a guide. So generally, Bhagavatam is compared to a arka. Arka means sun. Purana arka odhuna udita. We need sun always. Not that we tell the sun, oh sun, you are rising for millions of years. Today you do not rise. We do not need you anymore. Can we tell that? No. Sun was needed thousands and thousands years before, and still today we need sun for our guidance. And sun can remove darkness outward, but Srimad Bhagavatam can remove darkness inward in our heart. And Srimad Bhagavatam can guide us in different ages of our life, in youth age, middle age, old age. All these examples are there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Just like if I ask, who was a devotee in his childhood? Can you answer? Prahlad Maharaj. Any other? Dhruva Maharaj. In middle age, who was devotee? Who became devotee? We can see many Prachetas that they are Puranjan, so many. At the stage of death, who became devotee? Who became devotee at the stage of death? Ajamil. So at every stage, how one can accept Srimad Bhagavatam principles, we can see from Srimad Bhagavatam only. And from Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see that only we are not in distress. Sometimes we think that actually we are in only distress. But when we go through Srimad Bhagavatam, we see that so many characters in Srimad Bhagavatam, they are also in distress, but in that distress condition, that took shelter of Lord. There are three types of responses. One is political response, another is emotional response, and last one is devotional response. What political response? Political response means we are simply telling he has done this, that for me. He's a bad person.
Okay.
We talk in this way only. And emotional response is we want to actually make emotions in others that see how bad condition I am in. We want to get some sympathy from others. But best is devotional response, which is being taught by all these nice characters, just like Brahmaji taught us. Tatte anukampam shushumikshamano bhunjane vatman kritam vipakam ridbagva purvir bidadan namaste jivet jo mukti padesh dayavak. Second topic will be described by Kirti Krishna.
So Bhagavatam is our guide. The next one is Bhagavatam is our eternal friend. So there is a comparison between in this material world we have lots and lots of friends. Can we go ahead with what is the difference between this friend and this our eternal friend? This our Bhagavatam as an eternal friend which guides us always reveals the supreme truth. Dharma projita kaitavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam. What it is doing is that rejecting all the religious activities and which are materially motivated, as we discussed in the second group and first group also. Everything in this material world is motivating only materially. This Bhagavatam Purana profounds highest the truth. Whereas our friends, second one is Bhagavatam eternal friend as our eternal shelter. As Bhagavatam, the 10 subject matters, we see that ultimately Krishna is the Ashraya Tattva. Even we know that any puja we done in this world, Any puja, Ganpati puja, this puja, that puja, Narayanayeti samarpayami. So similarly, we have to take complete the shelter of the Lord. Whereas our friends in the material world only gives us the shelter as long as we are materially empowered. The moment when we are depowered, no one will come us. But Krishna, nevertheless, as a real friend, never abandon us. And as the eternal friend who always purifies us and uplifts us. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, that always this Bhagavatam purifies us and uplifts us in spiritual consciousness. And also as an eternal friend, this Srimad Bhagavatam who speaks personally. What does it mean personally? Nityam Navanava. Today, at this 2 years of experience of Krishna consciousness, one understanding, 3 years of experience, another perspective, as a 10 years, as a decades of the decades, it gives new, Navanava, new realizations. As a Bhagavatam eternal friend speaks personally. And as a Bhagavatam eternal friend accompanying beyond this life. A friend only again, when there is a sugar, they come. And otherwise, Krishna is always accompanying us. So in this way, Srimad Bhagavatam is our eternal friend.
So you could complete only two, but I want to tell a story. Just complete it. Once, one Maharaj went to a brahmachari class, and there he said, "You all get married," and he became confused. All the persons became confused. What he's saying? Again, he said, "You all get married." So again, the brahmacharis became confused. What he's telling? And later, again, Maharaj said that you all get married to Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, I don't know.
So this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is becoming, is like it's a gem in our life. It's a guide, eternal friend, is a mentor, and finally it is Ashray Tattva, is a final shelter. If you are not going to be take of this, what will be happen? Anyway, this body is going to be dust formation. So which is delusion. It's unreliable. This life is self-centered life. Otherwise, we are transient. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Very nice things I said. Very good. Yeah. So he gave the example of the sun. Very nice. And he quoted the appropriate verse for this topic. Very nice verse. So four things are said here. Bhagavatam is a guide, Bhagavatam is a friend, Bhagavatam is a mentor, Bhagavatam is a shelter. Of course, the whole presentation was a beautiful presentation. If I were to add 1 or 2 points to this, I would define each of these 4 items. Like the guide, for example, when we are afflicted by sorrow or insult by somebody, dishonor, in such situations, actually, we look for some higher guidance on how should we respond, how to not react, but we have to respond. Like Dhruva Maharaj is, trying to wipe out the yakshas. So similarly, Janamejaya is trying to wipe out the snakes. So this tendency of wiping out is a very dangerous tendency called as dvesh. Well, Hitler wanted to wipe out all the Jews, correct? No? So we should, and Hiranyakashipu wanted to wipe out Prahalad. But Hiranyakashipu himself got wiped out. And Hitler himself got wiped out. Whereas Dhruva and Janamejaya, they tried to wipe out a race, but they didn't get wiped out because they got Bhagavatam guidance. That's the speciality. Because they got guidance of great souls, you see. So even though we may be stuck in raga and dvesha, attachment and aversion, if we have the guidance of Bhagavatam, like Swayambhu Manu guided him in a difficult situation. For example, generally we say, if you are arrogant, you will be destroyed. We find many arrogant people, arrogant kings like Vena got destroyed, isn't it? Whereas another example of arrogant person is Rahugana. He was actually going to Kapilashrama for hearing Bhagavatam. He's a good soul, but circumstantially he became arrogant. But the moment he recognized Jadabharata, next moment his arrogance turned into humility. So that's the beauty of Bhagavatam. All inauspicious bad qualities, when they come in contact with Bhagavatam, they get evaporated immediately. That is why we should take guidance from Bhagavatam. Because you will find, it said Yamuna is very fierce because she is sister of whom? Yamaraj. But as soon as she sees Krishna going to the forest of Raj along with the covered friends, the fierce Yamuna becomes mild Yamuna. Similarly, all the fierce, arrogant, all kinds of people with bad qualities, when they come in contact with Bhagavatam, all their bad qualities will be driven away. Just like in a dark room, you switch on the light, immediately all the darkness will be driven out, it will be dispelled. So that's guide. So we should take guidance from Bhagavatam on how to act in different situations, especially extremely turbulent situations in our life. We should seek guidance from Bhagavatam, because without guidance, one should not act whimsically. Otherwise, we will bring great trouble to ourselves and others. Secondly, when we talk about Bhagavatam as a friend, think about friends in this life. In your school days, how many of you had some thick friendship with somebody? How many of you had some thick friendship with somebody? Correct, no? But eventually, that fellow went somewhere and you came to another place. Now we got lost, correct, no? We don't know where they are, some of them. I know some of my friends, very good friends. But then the kala separates people over a period of time, you know. And similarly, for us, another type of friend is our mother and father. But eventually, they will all pass away also. Uh, which is a friend we can think of who is there from the birth to death? That is Srimad Bhagavatam. Because it is such a friend, it can always accompany us in all walks of life. You Sometime what happens, you are in Bombay and there is a family next to you, very thick friends with you, but then when you get transferred, you go to America and they go to Australia and there is touch is lost. Whereas Bhagavatam you can carry with you wherever you go. It will be your eternal companion. It's a friend always available to you. So that is why the Bhagavatam is considered such a good friend that it will never leave us. Thirdly, the Bhagavatam is the mentor, it is said. Why we all need a mentor? When we ask questions, there should be somebody who can answer. Like Arjuna got Krishna as his mentor. Very, very expert mentor, isn't it? Mm. A mentor is somebody who is not just solving your problem. Mentor is somebody who helps you get a right perspective of your problem, and he also empowers you to solve your problem by giving you enlightenment. Huh? Like, think for a moment, Arjuna in the battle of Kurukshetra is faced with so many powerful warriors like Bhishma, Drona, and all these people. Do you think Krishna saw that, oh, Arjuna is depressed now, he has put his bow down? He could have easily picked up the bow. Krishna could have told, okay, Arjuna, go and relax, I will take care. He could have taken the bow and arrow in his hand and waged the war, which he didn't do, Krishna. But Krishna is an amazing mentor. He gave that enlightenment to Arjuna and empowered him to stand up and fight the battle and emerge victorious. So Bhagavatam can actually, remove our weakness of heart, and it can make us stand up and walk ahead in our spiritual life, and it can empower us with, wisdom and tools necessary to live in this world a clean life of devotion. And faithful sadhana without, succumbing to the challenges of life. So it's such an amazing mentor Bhagavatam is. It's empowering us. It's empowering us to face the challenge successfully. And fourthly, the shelter in this world. People generally take material shelters. I have some health issue, doctor is a shelter. I have some thieves, police is a shelter, isn't it? For children, the parents are the shelter. Or people think the bank is a shelter for finance. So, shelter is that place where you run to when you are faced with a calamity. But the very definition of calamity is that which is unpredictable, unexpected, and uncontrollable also. That's the meaning of a calamity. So that is why one true story I'll tell you, it will really shake you. In the place where the Ganga meets the ocean. That's called Ganga Sagar Mela, So in the Ganga Sagar Mela, a lot of boats come, tourist people come there. So one boat was having 30, 40 people going in a boat. And the boatman had warned everybody that don't put your hand in the water because there are man-eating crocodiles, huge crocodiles there. You should be very careful. And people took away their hand after that. But there was a small kid, maybe three years old kid. It was putting water and splashing and laughing. and the mother also didn't control the child. Suddenly, one crocodile caught hold of the hand of the child. And then the mother was screaming. And then the boatman looked at them and said, I told you. Now he said, you see, the child is pulling you. And if you are pulled, then you are pulling, your husband is trying to catch you. Then the whole boat will topple. And 30, 40 people will become food for dozens of crocodiles there. So the boatman said, within a few seconds, you have to decide either to leave the child or jump into water. So the wife was turning to the husband, and with tears in her eyes, husband said, leave the child. So she left the child. So the crocodile took the child below the water, and and blood gushed to the top. So when I heard this incident, immediately I remembered, Balasya neha sharanam pitarau nrasimha. It says, even in the lap of mother and father, a child is not safe. And this is the practical proof you can see. What is the shelter in this world? Which shelter can you trust in this world? Your own mother, father cannot protect you. And your relatives cannot protect you. And even the insurance people, they put their hand and say, Yogakshema Vahamiham. But, they are not going to preserve what you have, and they will not give you, they will give to your nominee. You don't get a single penny. You don't get anything. So nobody in this world is truly our protector except Krishna. So Krishna is there with me after I leave this body. So that is why Bhagavatam is our shelter, because Bhagavatam is non-different from Krishna. And then if I faithfully follow the teachings of the Bhagavatam, the same Bhagavatam will manifest himself as Krishna himself to welcome me into his embrace and take me back to Godhead. So therefore, I should carry Bhagavatam with me always. One should know that, like, the holy name is non-different from Krishna. Similarly, Bhagavatam is also non-different from Krishna. Those who take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam are always protected by Krishna personally. Even if if our body may go to the earth, but the soul returns to Krishna's abode, which is our eternal abode, because we are relishing Bhagavatam. For those who are relishers of Bhagavatam, Goloka is the place where they can manifest their taste for the Bhagavatam by taking part in the Nitya Leela there. Correct? No? So these are four things. Last one is shelter, the previous one is mentor, then the friend and the guide. So Bhagavatam acts in all these four capacities very powerfully in our life, and cannot be substituted by anybody. There's no substitute to Bhagavatam. So it was a very nice presentation by the group with nice examples. Let us thank them.